Hello, friends. Welcome back to The Point with Dr. Victor Markus. This is an interesting time to talk about something very key and crucial for our life here on earth. And I am going to be talking to the graduate, at least for today. If you just came out of the university, I think this will be very important. And if you are watching me now and you have a friend, you have a family member, you have somebody you care so much, and that you want to see that person become useful to the society, become useful to the family, and become useful to himself or herself. And I think this message will be very wonderful for you to send this information to them. And today I want to talk about sustainable income roadmap for graduates. Sustainable income roadmap for graduates. And particularly, we all need to be financially stable. We need to be financially balanced to be able to do a number of things here on earth. Really, to be successful at anything, you need actually to have finances. You need to have money, and particularly for graduates, there's something. That's why I title it sustainable, because not every income is sustainable. I know that one of the things that people are crazy about, I mean, when I mean people, I'm talking about graduates, is that they just want to get their first job, and they just want to start working and start earning some income, and that's quite good. I mean, it is interesting. I mean, it's desirable, and that's a good desire actually to have an income. There's something. It's one thing to have an income, and it's another thing to have sustainable income. So what I'm going to talk about today will specifically be focused on sustainable income. There's a reason for that, and I want you as a graduate, don't look at your current needs now. You have to know that in the future you're going to have more responsibility, so you have to ensure that as you grow older, your also income increase. So in regards to financial stability, one important thing that we cannot underestimate is the issue of income. Of course, in subsequent video, likely I'm going to make some things about the issue of managing your resources, as well as also how to multiply money, or how to multiply resources. But today I want to talk about sustainable income roadmap for graduates. And the first thing, as I said, that every graduate need to understand as you're coming out of the university, is that this issue of sustainable income is not about finding your first job. So it's not just about, I just want to work. I know that some of us, when we get our first job and we see the money we are being paid, I mean, it looks, it will look so huge, of course, because now you don't have dependent, you don't have many responsibilities, and I guess you need to think much more in the future. You need to think, you have to be proactive, and that's the reason why I want to help you think a little bit far down where you are today. And so that's the first thing. So it's not about just landing on your first job. It is about positioning yourself, and that's very important. It's about positioning yourself in ways that aligns with your interest. I'm going to talk about a number of things, but particularly in a ways that aligns with your interest, with your innate abilities, talent, and strength, and also opportunities, while creating room for growth and scalability. I just hope you get this point, because there are some important things I don't want you to miss here. It's about positioning yourself in ways that aligns with your interests, and then with your innate strength, your passion, something that you have an advantage. For example, I am not tall. If I'm to go to certain, I remember in my country, that if you're going to go into the military, there's some certain people with certain height that they require. So it's not those of us that are a little bit brief. I mean, you won't fit into that kind of direction. So I want you to note that. So you have to harness your innate ability. Some of us are even strong with words. Some of us are strong with numbers. Some of us are strong in our physique. I mean, so you just have to look at the place, that area of your life that you have an advantage, that you have more strength. That's why I'm focusing. And as well also an opportunities while creating room. That's another thing. So the fact that you have this inner strength and then you explore your interest is not enough. You must have to as well also create room for growth. You have to create room for growth, and as well to the number of people that are willing to pay you money in that direction. So when you combine this, so what I'm trying to put together here is that I don't want you to see what I'll be discussing here individually. You have to combine them together to be able to use them and to have what I mean by sustainable income. So the first thing is interest. The first thing is interest. And I want you to first and foremost look at this, that you have to identify what you like to do. Now, I'm tired of seeing many people frustrated about their work, about what they do. They don't like it. Each time they are waking up in the morning, it's like you are a prisoner. You are being dragged into something else, into a place where you don't want. One of the greatest things you will enjoy in life is freedom. I'm telling you the truth. I mean, when I mean freedom psychologically. You are free. What you are doing, you love it, you like it. You love it, you like it, and that's the first thing. But remember, I said don't look at it individually. I'll bring all the other factors together. So why am I saying that you need to look at what you are interested, what you are passionate about? Is because passion fuels consistency. Passion fuels consistency, and even when you are not successful, because it's not all the season of your life that you'll be successful. So in those days when things are down, one of the things that will keep you moving is because of your interest. So I want you to ask yourself, what is that thing that I can be able, that I'm willing to do it even when nobody will be paying me? Just ask yourself that question. You'll be able to identify those areas whereby you are actually having interest, or you are passionate about. For example, I'm so passionate about communication, about passing out knowledge. I'm passionate about that. So anything around that area, I'm passionate about passing out knowledge. Somebody might not really be passionate about passing out knowledge. He might be passionate probably about building. You see, so that's why I said you have to identify the area you are passionate and you are interested. Even if nobody will pay you, you will still be doing it. That is the first thing you need to identify as you just graduated. And one of the things, I hope that this would have been something we have been taught while we are coming up, but unfortunately, it's still not late as a graduate to learn and to explore, to discover more about yourself. So the reason is because if you don't do that, it's going to be much more difficult as you continue in life, because you will feel as if you are a prisoner being dragged to do something because you are going to be paid. So I want something to be sustainable, not something that is draining your energy, because lack of interest drains energy. It drains energy. And this stage of your life is a very important stage of your life. And that's why I want you to be very careful, because it's a time you have enormous opportunities for exploration, and it is a time that you need to spend in experimentation. And I don't want you to see that when you are experimenting something, even if you are not sure that you're going to end up working in that area or pursuing anything meaningful in that area, is a waste of time. No, experimentation is not a waste of time. It is an investment, because every effort you have put in discovering something about yourself is not a waste, it's an investment. I mean, because I'm a researcher, I understand how much we normally invest, the money that it takes to do a lot of research around the world. And in so many instances, some of the things we have discovered took us so many years to be able to come, and so much money to come into that kind of knowledge. Yet, whatever that has been spent to come into the knowledge or discovery of what we know today is not a waste. It is an investment, because that discovery, or the discovery we have made in science and many field of study, has improved humanity, has improved for our lives. So don't think experimentation is a waste. No, it's not a waste. It's a path to discovery about your interests, about what you want to do. So it's a very important part of your life, and I want you to take this very serious. The reason is because you are at a stage that you are at an advantage. Why am I saying you are at an advantage? Because you have very few responsibility. You have few responsibility, or fewer responsibility and dependence. So that means you can take risks that even if you fail, there will be no much consequences. So, and that is an advantage to you as a young person that is just graduating, compared to some of us who have a family already, we have children. I mean, we really need to calculate so much. And I don't want you to come to our position or my age, you understand, before you begin to learn to start discovering things about yourself. That is not the right time to discover a lot about yourself. You need to discover it quite early, but you do that by experimentation. And the second part of it, which that connects to the issue of your passion, is the issue of skill. When I'm talking about skill here, I'm talking about being competent. That's what I'm talking about here. So passion is alone is not enough. One of the mistakes many young people do is that they just tell them, just do something that you are passionate about. No, we're not talking about only passion here. No, if you follow what you're passionate about, some of the things you are passionate about, will not get you anywhere close to what you will need to use to eat. So you can't just follow your passion like that. No, but I'm talking about passions that align, or that takes you to places whereby that will bring income, sustainable income to you. And passion alone is not enough. So you have to focus on things you are good at, and you have to be so skilled that you will be very hard. You are hard to replace, because if you are hard to replace, then that means there is a space for you, because the world is changing and there are so many things that are competing against space. Not just only other human beings, but as well also we have machines, we have robots, we have a lot of things, AI, that is competing with humans. So you have a lot to compete with. So you have to be very skillful at whatever you are doing or you have chosen to do, that is very hard to replace you. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm focusing at. So because what I'm saying is that excellence makes you valuable. Excellence makes you valuable. It makes you valuable to your employers. It makes you valuable to your clients. It makes you valuable to your partners. It makes you valuable to a lot of people. Nobody will not want to associate with somebody who excels. No, everyone wants to come close to people that are excelling in their endeavors. So how do you become excellent? You have to keep learning. You have to keep practicing. But then remember as well, this is important, you have to select those areas of your life that comes naturally. Something that you don't need to introduce or apply so much effort to do. You get what I'm trying to say? Something that you will not want to put a lot of effort before you can achieve it. Something that comes naturally. So you have to explore the areas that comes, the talents, the strengths, natural strength that comes, just like I've earlier mentioned. You don't need to be like every other person. There's something unique about you that other people don't have. And these are the areas in which you should focus. And so while you get that, and then you keep practicing, you keep sharpening that skills, and until you actually stand out. So that takes us to the third thing, which is market value. So now I want you to just know that now we have already discussed passion and skill. Now, not just only passion and skill, your passion and skill must intersect with market value. This is where many young people missed it. It has to intersect with market value. The question you want to ask yourself is that, will people pay me? Will people pay for what I am providing? What I think I have passion for? What I think that comes out of me naturally, and I'm perfecting it, and I'm practicing and perfecting it. When I either provide service or product, will people pay for it? Will people buy it? That's a very important question. And so that's why I say you have to do the thinking together, because if you do them individually, it's going to be a little bit it's going to be difficult for you to be able to assess, because you first and foremost select this one, then you come here and then discover that no, it's not going to work, and then you go back again. No, you have to think, put them together and think through, and that's important. And so even if, for example, people will not pay you so much for that, can you repackage that thing? Can you repackage? For example, if you're a teacher and you learn, you have just graduated with a teaching degree or a degree in teaching rather, and you are thinking, okay, what can I do? And you say, okay, let me do home lessons or something like that. But you will have to be there at a time, face-to-face, one-on-one. That's going to be very quite difficult. Okay, can you think about actually maybe applying technology or building a team or something like that to repackage what you have, so that more people can be able to access you as well? You can be able to provide so much for people. So I want you to note that not everything you love, I've already made that point, but I want to stress it again. Not everything you love and good at will make you money. So that's one thing that you have to understand. Actually bringing your interests and skills, you understand, to ensure that there is a market for whatever you are providing is very crucial to ensuring that your income is sustainable. And the fourth thing is personal development. Personal development. Yes, I've talked about the issue of how you have to keep practicing to become excellent. You have to keep practicing to become excellent. But there's something very important, which is a little bit when I'm talking about personal development here. Now, the reason I'm making this point very distinct is because that the world is changing. Now, not just only that you become skillful in something, but you have to become skillful in something that is relevant. That's the point I'm making. You have to become skillful in something that is relevant for the time, for the season, for the world we are. So what is valuable today, for example, might not be valuable tomorrow or might become obsolete tomorrow. And that's why you have to ensure that you continue to upgrade, continue to learn, continue to update your skill, your knowledge, your understanding about the season, about the world, about the era. Today's era will not be tomorrow's era. So you really need so much knowledge. Sustainable income should grow with you, actually grows with you. So you have to know that. So some of the skill set you have today might not be the skill set of tomorrow, which means that it might be good today, it might be valuable today, but that means that you have to ensure that you invest as well in your personal development so that you improve yourself, and then you will not just be irrelevant tomorrow. You understand? So you will be relevant today, you will as well be relevant tomorrow. The last part is expansion. Now, expansion is very critical, because if your work and your product or services can reach just a handful of people at a time, you will discover that your income will be limited. That's why I call it sustainable. So one thing you don't want to is to just focus on just what you get today. Most of the time, young or fresh graduates don't look at this when they graduate. They're just looking at to find the first job. That's all. But one thing they don't know is that their responsibility will increase. They will soon have dependents. So they don't normally think about those things, unfortunately. But I want you, if you're listening to me, begin to think that in the next 5 years, begin to think the next 20 years. When you are making plans today, whatever you're going to do, look at the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life. By then, likely you want to have a family. By then, you want to build this. By then, you want to have this. By then, your parent must have been old. By then, so many people in the society around you that needed you, because you also needed others. Other people paid for your school fees. People helped you along the way. So you have to reciprocate. You have to do something to others. So by then, once you are not thinking about expansion, that means you're going to get into trouble. And that's what I want you to note. So you must find a way to connect all these 5 things together, that you have to scale, that you serve many people at a time. Whatever you are doing, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, that you have to find a way, whether through technology, a system, or building a team, that whatever you are providing can be able to reach as many people as possible. That is when your income becomes sustainable. That is when so I'm talking about people who, even if you want to build a business, that's what you should be thinking. If you want to get a job, that's okay. But you have to think about that job in a long term. Okay, if I stay here for the next 10 years, 20 years, can what I'm going to get provide for me income, something that is sustainable, an income that is sustainable? And this is a question you need to ask. By the time you combine all this, then you bring out your passion. So sustainable income actually put together certain things. You want to have sustainable income? Then look at your passion, your interests, connect it with skills and excellence, things you can do very well. And those things you can do very well, are people willing to pay? And not just only some people. Let many people, ability to access so many people at a time, to provide them with whatever you are giving out, your product or service. That is what makes it sustainable. And as well, also ensuring that whatever you are learning, you keep updating and upgrading yourself, so that whatever is relevant today, you will ensure that you are not taken out of the market tomorrow, but that you keep becoming relevant. And that is what personal development actually talks about. So you have to identify how all these 5 elements connect together. And the only way you can be able to do this, again, we are back to where we started, is by experimenting. Please, if you are a fresh graduate, don't be afraid of failure. This is a time of your life that you need to explore. Don't worry if for the next 1 year you don't have income yet. The problem is not who started earning an income. No, you are focused on building sustainable income, not just to start to just jump and okay, let me just get my first job. No, that's not the point. You don't want to waste so much of your time in a place that you won't be able to build something meaningful. So and don't be afraid of failure. Definitely you're going to fail. As long as you want to experiment, you're going to fail. In the lab, when I enter as a researcher, I'm not just thinking that once I do something once. I remember during my master's program, during my laboratory work to do, doing my thesis. I mean, it took me about 4 months. Sometimes I will go early in the morning from 7. By 6, 7, I'm already in the lab. And in many days, I have not returned till 12 midnight. 12 midnight, I'm returning. You would do this, it will fail, you will try this, and sometimes after that long day, you will come out with nothing. You will return back, and then you are so tired, not just only physically, but you are also tired psychologically. You are tired in every part of your being. But one thing I'm saying is that you're going to fail. As long as it's an experiment, you're going to fail. But of course, after all these years today, I've already passed that level. The reason is because I haven't given up. For every of the failure I've encountered in the lab, it became as a feedback, and then I would just optimize. So that's what we call optimization. So you just get, and then you optimize certain things based according to some of the things you are learning. And this is very important, and I want you to take that approach. You are young now. You have so much time, you have so much opportunity, so don't be afraid of failure. Just go ahead. If you fail, just learn from the failure. You can be able to understand this one just by sitting down at home, that you are thinking about. I mean, I really don't like that kind of a situation whereby you see many young people, where are you, what are you doing now? I'm waiting. I have applied to 5 places. I'm waiting for their reply. Waiting? I mean, you can't learn all these things by waiting, by sitting down at home, eating mommy's and daddy's food, and then you haven't, you see, to understand. Some of us think that we know what is our interest. No, one of the things I'm trying to even expose my children to is to give them opportunity to experiment with so many things. This is some of the things I think that some of us, when we are growing up, we lack, because you just force us into school every day to school. You understand? You go by 8, you return by 4. I mean, what is the meaning of that? There is no time to be able to expose you to other things, and that has been not a good way of educating children or educating people. I want people to have opportunities. Yes, they should go to school, but when they return to school, they should have moment and time every day to experiment with many things, to try this one, try that one. By the time the person is finishing or is completing his secondary school or high school, at that time he has discovered, because he has the child have experimented so many things, and at that moment, in that experimentation, that child will discover where he's more interested at, where he's likely to be good, because he will discover his strength, his inner strength there, and all that. And that's what, even though you haven't done that, is, as I said, it's not late. It's not late. You can do it. You can start it now. And that's my advice for you. Please don't give up. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm encouraging you. Don't forget, this is Key Point with Dr. Victor Markus. See you next time.